Northern California, the late 1960s. A shadow falls over the state, a phantom who would terrorize communities and baffle law enforcement for decades to come. He called himself the Zodiac, and his story is one of America's most chilling and enduring unsolved mysteries. It all began on a dark, lonely road in December 1968 to teenagers. David Faraday and Betty Lou Jensen were on their first date. Their night ended in tragedy, the first confirmed act of a killer who would revel in the fear he created. Just a few months later, another couple was attacked in a similar fashion. This time, there was a survivor, Mike Mageau, who provided a description, but the attacker's face remained shrouded in darkness. The terror escalated. This wasn't just a murderer, he was a manipulator, a performer who craved the spotlight. Shortly after the second attack, a series of taunting letters began arriving at the offices of major Bay Area newspapers, including the San Francisco Chronicle. In these letters, written in a distinct, almost childish print, he took credit for the crimes. To prove he was the killer, he included details only the police would know. But he didn't stop there. He included a bizarre, three-part cryptogram, a cipher he claimed would reveal his identity if solved. He demanded the papers publish it on their front page, or he would kill again. The public was gripped by fear and fascination. Who was this person who communicated in riddles and threatened mass violence? The first cipher, known as the Z408, was cracked within a week, not by law enforcement, but by a schoolteacher and his wife. The message was rambling and full of spelling errors, a chilling glimpse into a disturbed mind. He spoke of collecting slaves for the afterlife and declared, "I will not give you my name because you will try to slow down or stop my collecting of slaves for my afterlife." He had given himself a name, a brand. He signed his letters with a cryptic crosshair symbol and called himself the Zodiac. The Zodiac's reign of terror continued. In September 1969, he changed his method. Dressed in a bizarre, executioner-style hood, he approached a young couple, Brian Hartnell and Cecilia Shepard, picnicking at Lake Berryessa. He tied them up before brutally attacking them. Before leaving, he scrawled a message on their car door, listing the dates of his previous attacks and signing it with his now infamous symbol. In a horrifying twist, Brian Hartnell survived, providing a detailed account of the encounter. Yet, the hooded man's identity remained a mystery. Just 2 weeks later, the Zodiac struck again, this time in the heart of San Francisco. He shot and killed a cab driver, Paul Stein. But this time, he made a mistake. As he fled the scene, he was briefly seen by teenagers in a house across the street who called the police. When officers arrived, they spoke to a man walking away from the area who matched a description. But a radio miscommunication about the suspect's race allowed him to slip away. The Zodiac later mocked the police for this blunder in another letter, sent with a piece of Paul Stein's blood-soaked shirt as proof. This was the Zodiac's game. He was playing with the media, with the police, with the entire state of California. He sent more letters, more ciphers, and even a greeting card. One of his most complex puzzles, the Z340 cipher, remained unsolved for over 50 years. It was a jumble of symbols and letters that taunted and perplexed investigators and amateur sleuths alike for generations. He claimed responsibility for a staggering 37 murders, though investigators have only definitively linked him to 5, with 2 survivors. After 1974, his letters abruptly stopped, and the Zodiac Killer seemingly vanished into thin air. The investigation was one of the largest in California's history. Police followed thousands of leads and investigated over 2,500 potential suspects. One man, Arthur Lee Allen, became the primary focus for decades. He was interviewed by police, his home was searched, and he even wore a Zodiac brand watch. Circumstantial evidence seemed to point his way, but nothing concrete ever tied him to the crimes. Handwriting analysis was inconclusive, and a DNA sample taken from the envelopes didn't match him. Allen maintained his innocence until his death in 1992, and the case remains officially open. The Zodiac's legacy is woven into the fabric of American pop culture. His cryptic persona and the unsolved nature of his crimes have inspired countless books, documentaries, and movies. Most famously, David Fincher's 2007 film, Zodiac. The mystery has also fueled a massive online community of citizen detectives who continue to pore over the evidence, proposing new theories and analyzing old ones. This collective obsession speaks to a deep human fascination with puzzles and the darker side of psychology. In 2020, a breakthrough occurred. A team of private codebreakers from around the world announced they had finally cracked the Z340 cipher after 51 years. The message was another taunt. It read, in part, "I hope you are having lots of fun in trying to catch me. ... I am not afraid of the gas chamber because it will send me to paradise all the sooner because I now have enough slaves to work for me." The misspellings, the talk of paradise and slaves, it was unmistakably the Zodiac. It offered no clues to his identity, only another chilling look into his psyche. But what about the victims? Beyond the ciphers and the media frenzy are the real people whose lives were cut short. David Faraday, Betty Lou Jensen, Darlene Ferrin, Cecilia Shepard, and Paul Stein, and the survivors. Mike Mageau and Brian Hartnell, who carried the physical and emotional scars for the rest of their lives. Their families have lived for over half a century without answers, without closure. Their stories are the true heart of this tragedy, a reminder of the devastating human cost behind the headlines and the mystery. Today, the case remains cold but not forgotten. Advancements in DNA technology offer a glimmer of hope. Perhaps genetic genealogy, the same science that caught the Golden State Killer, could one day unmask the Zodiac from a sample left on a stamp or an envelope flap decades ago. For now, he remains a ghost, a question mark in American history. Why does the Zodiac Killer continue to captivate us? It's the perfect storm of a true crime mystery. A killer who gave himself a name and a logo, who communicated directly with the public, and who left a trail of complex, mind-bending puzzles. He wasn't just a criminal, he was a storyteller, the author of his own terrifying legend. He created a character that has outlived him, a symbol of the unknown that lurks just beneath the surface of society. The question of his identity haunts us because it represents the unsettling idea that evil can strike, create chaos, and then simply disappear, leaving only a riddle behind. And as long as that riddle remains unsolved, the Zodiac's ghost will continue to walk among us. Thank you for watching this dive into one of history's most baffling cases. What are your theories on the Zodiac? Let us know in the comments below. And if you're fascinated by unsolved mysteries, be sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into the unknown. Stay curious and stay safe.